A tough Game 2 loss for the Jets as the Avs gain home ice advantage heading back to Colorado. Hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Jet Setting. Rob Wong joined alongside by Winnipeg Sun Jets writer Scott Billeck and Winnipeg Sun sports editor Ted Wyman. And guys, this series all tied up ones after 2 games, and it looked like things were going to work out for the Jets, Scott, after Mark Scheifele's goal made it 2-1 in the second period. But it was all Colorado after that. A lot of finger pointing going around right now, trying to figure out what went wrong in that game number 2, and one of the things that I know people are definitely discussing is the play of Connor Hellebuyck, who has not exactly put up stellar numbers so far. What have you made of his play in the first 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it hasn't been good enough, right? I mean, I think we can all agree that sub 900 save percentage in the playoffs just isn't going to cut it for this Jets team. It's far below his Vezina standards. And I think he needs more awareness, especially on Colorado's second goal, where he kind of gets stripped on a good forecheck, and he gets stripped of the puck, and then they go in. That's a mistake that can't be made in the playoffs. That said, I mean, the Jets sort of quit playing after the midway point of the second period. They get a great kill on a 4-minute double minor for high sticking from Kyle Connor. They get a really good kill. They ride that momentum. Mark Scheifele scores the 2-1 goal. And then the Jets just sort of sagged after that. And, you can't sag against a team that has Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar, Arturi Letkinen. There's some poor puck management plays in that game. Nikolai Ehlers is on his butt, and he can't get the puck deep. They pick it up off of him. Next thing you know, it's in the back of the net because Josh Manson runs out of the penalty box. Nobody picks him up. And the game's now starting to get out of control. The Avs scored 3 goals in 5:30, roughly 5:35, I think it was. So yeah, I mean, the goaltending definitely needs to be better. I think one of the things that happened after game 1 was Alexander Georgiev was so poor in that game that you compared it to Connor Hellebuyck, who made 40 saves, and you're like, okay, well, we know what the better goalie was. But Georgiev was the better goalie in game 2. And that's not something I think a lot of people thought or expected. The Jets need Connor Hellebuyck to bounce back in game 3. They need him to post some Vezina numbers befitting of the season that he had. They need him to show up in this series and make some saves that maybe shouldn't be expected of him, but that's something he's been really good at over the course of his career. So, it's one part Hellebuyck and it's one part the players in front of him, but the players in front of him aren't going to do it. Hellebuyck needs to be better than he has been.
Ted, do you have concerns about Hellebuyck's play so far?
Well, he stopped the first something like 12 shots in game 1 before one got past him. He stopped the first 18 in game 2 before one got past him. He looked like he was in form. But once the floodgates opened a bit, it just wasn't working. He wasn't making the saves after that. And, it's just an easy bottom line, guys. He's got to be better. I mean, he just has to be. You can't have a 5.04 goals against average in the playoffs. This is the best defensive team in the NHL during the regular season. They don't look anything like it right now. Give credit to Colorado. They are coming in waves. Nathan MacKinnon's an absolute beast, as we all knew. Cale Makar, the Jets have no answers for what he's doing from the point. And it's creating a lot of high danger chances, and Hellebuyck's not been able to rise to the occasion. Like, if he could just keep the games going even remotely like the way that he's been playing early on in the games, I think, he'd be fine, because it would give the Jets a chance to score one more and get the win, which is how they've been winning all season long. He has to control the puck better. You can't give up a goal like that. It was actually the game-winning goal, the third goal by Zach Parise, that he allowed in that situation. And as much as the players say, Kyle Connor said, "Oh, it's a fluky one, we don't think about that," I'm sure it deflates them when you're working as hard as you are, and then a mistake like that ends up in the back of the net, and now Colorado has the lead. And then, as Scott pointed out, Nikolai Ehlers makes a pretty big mistake down in his own zone with less than 10 seconds left in the second period, and the Jets forget that Josh Manson's coming out of the box. Nobody picks him up. He scores. The the momentum just had completely shifted within just a few minutes of the game, and it shouldn't have happened. I mean, the Jets had it all. They had the momentum like crazy. You kill off a penalty, you get the incredible Scheifele goal. The roof is coming off the house. Kyle Connor hits a post. It looks like this is the Jets' time in that game. Just exactly what they were looking for, right where they wanted Colorado. And then that goal, or those, the couple of goals they scored in succession, just took all the life out of the building and seemingly out of the Jets.
So clearly the goaltending is one thing that needs to be rectified heading into game number 3, Ted. But what else are you looking for heading to Colorado now as the series shifts to Denver?
They've given up 88 shot attempts to Colorado in game 1, 71 in game 2. They've come nowhere close to that. I think Winnipeg had 48 and 60. So they've been, the puck has been in Winnipeg zone most of the time in this series, and a lot of that has to do obviously with what McKinnon and Rantanen are doing. Obviously, what Cale Makar is doing, but they've been getting secondary scoring now from guys like Parise. Miles Wood has 2 goals in this series already, the Jets are just not able to match them in terms of getting their offensive game going. Winnipeg gets it into the zone. They might get a decent rush. They get a couple of passes, and they might get a good chance to score, or not even a good chance to score, or a decent chance to put something on net. And then Colorado's getting the puck and coming back and bringing it down, getting into the zone. Rick Bowness said too easily in game 1 for sure. And then having some sustained time. And they're just coming wave after wave after wave. McKinnon's playing, 24 minutes a game. He's he played, I think, almost 12 minutes just in the second period alone. He's out there every second shift, and the Jets, you can't shadow him with Adam Lowry in that situation. It's got to be everybody that's doing it. But all those things said, I think the number one thing the Jets need right now is for their second line of Sean Monahan, Tyler Toffoli, and Nikolai Ehlers to report to the series. I mean, they've got to be an X factor in this thing. They've got to score some goals. Winnipeg's got a great second line, better second line than Colorado has. If you've got Scheifele and Lowry's lines mostly going up and taking the responsibilities against McKinnon's line, the opportunity is there for Winnipeg's second line with 3 20-plus goal scorers on it to get some pucks, some real good chances and get some pucks in the net. They haven't been scored upon much, but they've got to provide the Jets with a little bit more of that offense that they're lacking right now.
Scott, outside of the goaltending, is there a player or a group of players that you feel need to step up in order for the Jets to get back in this series?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ted. I mean, I don't think that the second line's been horrible in terms of giving up a lot of chances, but they're just not taking any of the ones that they produce themselves. You look at the game. You look at game 2. The Jets had 12 high danger chances in the game. They didn't score on enough of them. The power play went over 3. I mean, that's a key part of this series is that, full credit to the Jets' penalty kill. They kept the Avs over 3 on the night too. But in a game where a power play goal here's the thing, the Jets go up 1-0 in the first period. It's 3:15 into the game. Alexander Georgiev is coming off a game where he allowed 7 goals. They score early to get to him. And then they just sort of sag a bit after that. And we talk about the second period sag, but the Jets had 2 power play opportunities over the course of the rest of the period. And they only got like 1 or 2 shots on both of them, and that's not enough. Like, I mean, this power play had this Jets team had a chance to really put Colorado and Georgiev really on the back foot, and they missed it. Georgiev made a really nice save in front on a tip, and that sort of seemed to settle him. And the power play wasn't getting anything going, so they couldn't get much going there, and there wasn't a lot of momentum coming from that. And so, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the things last night are things that this team has harped on over the course of the year: puck management, getting hemmed in their own zone, not finding the clear when they need to, giving the puck away. Like, there's a lot of things here that should be warning signs to this team that this isn't the way that they win hockey games. And we can look at individual players, but really, I mean, the Jets are losing because they're not playing as a team right now. And maybe they are looking at too many individuals right now to try and do something. But one thing that's been prevalent throughout this whole season, even the last 2 years, if this team sticks to a certain style of game, they will win hockey games. Right now, they're not playing that style of game, and it was good enough in game one because the goaltending was so bad. But when the goaltending got better for Colorado, it was nowhere close to good enough in game two. And so heading into game three, they can either try and do that and hope Connor Hellebuyck does well, or Georgiev has a really bad game again, or they can really figure it out team-wise and let that game dictate how Colorado plays. And I think it's a winning formula. The Jets won 52 times this year. Most of the games are done that way. But they need to start playing it again. Otherwise, this could be a quick end to the series.
Well, lots for the Jets to figure out heading into Game 3, which goes Friday night in Colorado. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Scott Billeck and Ted Wyman, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.